He is a champion Pitbull, four-time dogfighting winner. And this is the story of the Merengue champion. The Merengue was bred by Pit Island Kennels. Mr. Santander went to live in the USA to have a better life in the year 2000. He was born into a family that has always raised dogs. Santander's father had some dogs, bred by Klaus and Ed Crenshaw. After Santander, it went through many fake dogmen. He made friends with Lord Goshas. And that's how Santander started its dog breeding in the USA. He has always been an admirer of what is known as gameness. Gameness is a dog's ability to persist in a fight, regardless of its physical condition. Even if the confrontation could cost your own life. For being after dogs with that characteristic. The dogs of the Red Boy lineage were indicated to him. And so he found Pit Island Kennels. Merengue was purchased when he was still a puppy, and was raised in Austin, Texas. When he was already an adult, he was sent to his father, Old Santander, in Puebla, Mexico. The old man could no longer take care of dogs, due to health problems. And for that reason, the dogs were kept in the courtyard of the Clavigeros. He made friends with Santander's family members. I took care of some dogs for his brother in Monterrey. And I took care of some dogs that were doing their campaign in the fight. I signed Sam Jr.'s fight contract for his fourth fight. And the fight contract from the dog Camino for his second fight. The fights would be in a great international convention in the city of Mexico. Jose called me and said he had a red dog that he wanted me to take to my house in Monterrey. He asked me to observe him in a test fight to see if this red dog was going to be a professional wrestler. I agreed to analyze the dog, and after the convention, I took this dog, white and red speckled, to my home in Monterrey, Mexico. I immediately put the dog to work, and he was a great worker. I immediately became attached to the animal. Despite Merengue not responding well to Old Santander, his two sons, or the Clavigeros. For Merengue, they were all indifferent, and he wasn't interested in any of them. But Merengue was super excited to work. I dropped a few pounds off him and drove the 2 hours to Reynosa to see a fight for a dog I sold to the STW named Ginger. After the fight was over, we tested Merengue with a dog named Terrorista. The Terrorist is the son of the female champion Pinky, with the champion, Solo. At the beginning of the fight, Merengue broke the other dog's front paw, and made an exposed fracture. Right after breaking the dog's leg, he went for the submission. And this surprised us, as this is not a typical trait of the Red Boy dog lineage. So they opted to put another dog against Merengue. This dog was a thoroughbred, 50% Diablo Negro, with 50% Cardenas, weighing 23 kilos. The ELI lineage dog, bigger and stronger, was biting Merengue's knee. But Merengue was holding his ear. Merengue showed great defensive ability. After that we put the third dog against him, a Cardenas dog. Merengue held the dog's ear again. But what was remarkable was Merengue's attitude. When he was in the corner, that Red Boy trait, a hard-to-contain dog, screaming to be released, to get back in the fight. I liked him, and I scheduled a fight against a champion, called Paquillo. The fight would be at a big show, in Baja, California. The weight category of the fight was 20 kilos. After the fight, after a month of hospitalization, I received a call from Morris Kennels, in Spain, saying that he was half the owner of Merengue. And he asked how he could get it, as if I owned the dog. I told him that Santander had asked me to book a fight with him, and that's what I did. He informed me that he had paid the Santander family for Merengue. and that he would send for his dog in 2 weeks. The man sent his gardener to fetch Merengue, and discovered that Mr. Santander had taken him to a kennel in Holland. They said the dog didn't look well, which is understandable as this is the dog's first fight against a mature dog. I can't say how he looked, because I wasn't there. What I do know is that the stronger dog gave up, and that Merengue was screaming to get back into the fight, in his courtesy scratch. Thanks to the natural air, and the gameness of a red boy. Merengue was current for a year, until the Santander family traveled to Spain to bring Merengue, and Boomer GYP, back to Mexico. The Bomber GYP was crossed with a good female, for half of the litter, but half of the Santander was donated to the uncle of Morris. Anyway, the Merengue, it was brought back to Puebla. I asked to use the dog for a show in Mexico City, but he lent it to Tequila and her brother. Soon after, I managed to arrange a fight for Merengue against a dog called Tosco, who was once a combat winner. Tosco was the son of a bitch named Callejas Serra, litter sister of the bitch Quattro Poor Hard Times. That Santander himself had sent to Sergio Callejas, from the USA. Merengue fought me very well, and I knew we were facing a strong opponent, an ELI, so we had to be sure. In Tosco's first fight, he had done little. He won in just 15 minutes, showing a destructive mouth. But against Merengue, Tosco bit nothing but air, while Merengue held him by the ear. At 27 minutes, we went to finish, and forced a stop, at 31 minutes. And so Merengue became a combat winner twice. We scheduled another fight for him, on the same weekend, at the Club America camp in Mexico City. America was using a dog, called Fake Once Winner, who was the son of Champion Tank, from Canil Taurus. He was only a one-time winner, but both of his sons won in no time. But we beat him too. For Merengue's fourth fight, we scored against Pinocho. Pinocho was a dog, bred by Dragonfire Buck, with a bitch, by Champion Little Buck, named Kohler, a red boy Jocko bitch. It was said that he ripped pieces off opponents. 8 weeks later, the day has arrived. Our camp showed that we were aware of the mouth power of these dogs, son of Champion Little Buck, and knew of their high ability. We had to survive for 30 minutes. In my book and release, Merengue went straight for the head and Pinocho going for the body. We are the tallest and longest dog, but not the strongest, as I dropped the weight from 21 kilos to 20 kilos. And Merengue didn't have the explosive power I was used to. When Pinocho touched us, he exploded like a baseball or 4 bullet holes. Merengue kept biting the head, and punishing the ears, and the throat when he could. But Pinocho did not lie down. Pinocho gave the signal to leave in the 40th minute, and a scratch was called. Merengue is going crazy in the corner, and growing with each scratch. At 1 hour, and 40 minutes, it's clear that we're ahead, and really punishing, twisting, turning and shuddering deep in Pinocho's eardrums, and he's being driven across the ring. At 1 hour and 55 minutes, I do a crank and Pinocho doesn't even get up but curls up in a ball. Merengue is freaking out in the corner, and at 2 o'clock, doing a spectacular courtesy. We are proud of our head dog, Smart Game, and will breed some solid red bitches to him, as well as some of our Hooten, and our stock of Eli Hard Times. Thanks to the Santander family for allowing me to train on their ranch, and for the trust in showing it as a couple. Merengue is no longer a young dog, so he will be used as a stud dog.
My name is Rodolpho Luiz, and I'm going to leave the story of Bass Tramp Red Boy. God bless you all.